2, 1. Oh my.
Okay, I just want to apologize. I'm really sorry that I didn't get to react to this. You see, when this came out, I was on vacation, and it just came out while I was in the car. Now, I honestly could have waited until later, but my older brother was like, "Hey, did you see it?" And I was like, "No." So I went over to Hasbro Pulse. They didn't put anything up for pre-order. It's like, oh, cool. One reveal that I'll talk about in a second. And I knew that he was going to be like, "Oh, what did you think about?" So I unfortunately had to watch it while I couldn't give reaction. I did record my reaction to Snarl, the core class Snarl, because I knew that was important for my channel, because I like to bitch about the core class Dinobots, and I'm not a hater. I want to see if these get better. So I knew that one was the most important one. So, now that the dust has settled, I have to say that it was a really good fan-first video, and it is a shame that I didn't get a reaction out of it. But that's what this is for. I'm just going to talk about how I feel about the stuff, because I did make a video talking about the leaks of the figures, so yeah, I'm just going to talk about the actual stuff. Okay, so we have good old Mirage, and you know, I'd say that, well, I shouldn't care because I'm not a Studio Series collector, but I am getting all of the Rise of the Beast stuff, and Volkswagen Bumblebee now has a new contender for the lamest looking Studio Series figure. I guess Soundwave too. Revenge of the Fallen Soundwave was pretty bad, and honestly, Dark of the Moon Soundwave. It's not a bad figure, but I just hate it. It's like way too small in my opinion, and I hate that fucking design. I think I'd rather pick up the the satellite one, because you know, Soundwave should never be a car bot, but if you are gonna make him a car bot, can you at least make him feel like Soundwave? Can you at least make him blue? Look, he doesn't even have the head sculpt. I think even the Studio Series one had the satellite one had a head sculpt that was Soundwave-esque. That's not Soundwave. Not my Soundwave. I'm sorry to say it. I just think it's so sad that both the Porsche and the Volkswagen Beetle are some of my favorite cars, but their Studio Series just suck. They're so unique and cool looking, but they're so panely, and hopefully this one plugs together. Now, I'm hoping they show off the robot mode. What is there to say? This just looks terrible. This is awful. Why is this the most replayed? You want to see this. This is the stuff that y'all want to see. Now, granted, the head sculpt's actually not too bad, but I'm sorry, that just looks like a mess. I'm fine with kibble if you can manage to make it look like okay. That is not okay. That is an actual mess. And the worst part is all clear plastic. The Mirage is one of my least looked forward to figures in the Studio Series. Not because I hate him, but like, I heard he's good in the movie. I still haven't seen it. But I did hear that Airazor does die because fuckers wouldn't stop talking about it. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, but like, oh, whatever. At least she got screen time, apparently. Even though she didn't have a robot mode in the movie. Alright, so next up we got the Leader Class Optimus Primal. Obviously, it's good because, like, it's Optimus Primal. He's such an easy character to get right. Like, any class, he can be good. Any of them. His transformation's so simple. You have the Voyager. It's very simple, but it's very effective. So when you bump that up from a $30 price point to a $50, yeah, this thing's going to be great. And I do like that mace that he has. That's really cool. I want to see how big this figure is compared to the other Rise of the Beast figures. It'll probably be the same size as Scourge, and I kind of did the thing that most people did with Leader Galvatron, where I'm like, he's not that big, but like I kept comparing him with giant Voyagers and not standard Voyagers and standard leaders. He is quite massive, so I do apologize for doing that. Apparently some people had an issue with that figure, but I don't know, I still think it's one of the best that Hasbro's ever made, and maybe this one might be too. I loved Rise of the Beast so far, except for Airazor with her ugly ass. So that was basically just the Studio Series stuff. Now we're getting into the actual Legacy Evolution final announcements. And we start off really interesting. A re-release of the Core Class Optimus with both the gun and the mace, the Bumblebee that accompanies it, and surprisingly, a really good trailer. Gotta say, I love this one. I actually almost pre-ordered it, but then I remembered it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Actually, I didn't know that, but I remembered it's Hasbro Pulse. And they're like Uber Eats when it comes to overcharging stuff. So I was spending almost $50 on just this thing. I'm not spending $50 on this! But I will say, it is a nice little 2-pack. I didn't get the Bumblebee. I just didn't. So I might do it with this time. I don't really like this Bumblebee because it looks kind of odd. I don't like boring ass car Bumblebee. I am a Volkswagen B exclusive fan, though I will say I do like how squash and tiny it is. So it's not bad. I'm sure I'll probably get this, but I'm just not going to be happy when I notice that I am missing $50 in my bank account for these two fools. Alright, so next up is the last that I made a video on, Shadowstriker. I have some reservations about this figure. So, I didn't know this when I made the video. I did while I was editing and uploading it, but I thought it was a funny video, so I just went ahead and posted it. But this is based off of some other character from RID who is a pre-tool to RID Shadowstriker, the original. So it's like, we have two RID Shadow Strikers. We're just going to combine them. Wait, no, never mind. This is Cyberverse. Never mind. They're pieces of shit for doing this. I'm just kidding. And that does excuse some of the things, like the back of the car coming off and the shield on the roof. The problem is, it barely looks like an update to the RID figure, and I hate that RID figure. It looks so gangly, so awkward. It has more kibble thickness than the actual limbs. And granted, this is a little bit of an improvement, and I think it's a cheeky idea. And I like how despite the fact that the car windshield, whatever shield, does technically parts form, you not only do you not have to parts form it at all, you can have it plugged onto either arm. So that's kind of cool. And I was kind of worried. I thought the car would be a little generic, but I will say that first off, the kibble's not even that bad, but that is a very, very Cyberverse looking vehicle mode. Looks really good. Will I get it? I don't think so, because I am holding back on what Transformers I am getting, but it doesn't look bad. And if I was given it as a gift, I probably would appreciate it, but I just don't feel like I need to buy it. But that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I think it's okay. I don't need to buy every single Transformer. It doesn't look as bad as I thought. I heard it was actually alright, so I was a little worried because it did look like a complete shell former, and it looked really stupid. And it'd be like if they made a new... The fuck is the Penguin's name from Beast Wars Neo? Whatever his name is. He still had all the kibble. He was still awkward and gangly. He still had all the problems, but like he had an updated sculpt. It's like, that's not worth the money. Like, okay, it's a little bit more articulation. That's not worth the money. Still looks stupid. But this doesn't even look that stupid. If I appreciated the character a little bit more, I'd probably get her. And finally, we get to the last of the Insecticons, and man, the more they release these Insecticons, the worse they look, but also I realized that a lot of the major flaws were just part of the designs that were always there. It's like every single one of these has that stupid tank dick that Blitzwing has. It's like, can I complain that much when it's always been a part of the design? Yes. So I thought Shrapnel looked really cool, but then I saw his alt mode. It's like that's like a box with wheels and like little stag beetle horns on. But that's just what he's always looked like. So like, can I get mad at that? No. And then I look up Bombshell, I'm like, you see, he looks like an actual insect. And he looks cool. So I was like, you know what? He's gonna be the one. But not only does he have the exact same problem, albeit it's not as bad. What is this shit on his head? Again, it's always been there, but it's at its worst here. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I'm probably going to pre-order this one because I couldn't get Shrapnel because he's sold out. You see what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, the front half does look like an insect, but I couldn't get Shrapnel because it's sold out on Hasbro Pulse. I might be able to get it on a Big Bad Toy Store. And on Amazon, I have to pay like $50 if I want it. And it's not even like going to be a quick delivery. It's going to take like 3 months. I'm not fucking doing that. So I'm just going to have to find a way to eventually get one. So I might just pre-order this guy. I'll give him this. Doesn't look terrible, but I will say that it is unfortunate that these Insecticons have gotten worse and worse looking as they go on. And what's really sad is that as they went on, we got my favorite characters. Like, I saw Kickback. I'm like, that's really cool. But of the three, Kickback was easily my least favorite. He had the dumbest looking robot mode, and he turned into a grasshopper. That's not as cool as a beetle, like a stag beetle or a horn beetle. He had Shrapnel. His voice was annoying, and his robot mode wasn't as cool looking, but I like stag beetles. And then you had Bombshell, actually looked like a bug in comparison to Shrapnel, and he had a really cool head. Apparently they complained that like they wanted to get super show accurate robot mode, but they like the chest was supposed to be like gray, but there's no way they could do that while keeping the purple in the alt mode. And I'm just sitting here thinking, listen, I appreciate it, but you don't have to go so uber hyper specific into the accuracy that you need to go that far, all right? There was a lot of liberties taken with the War for Cybertron designs when it came to the subtle things, like the shape and the colors, but they still matched, they still felt like the characters perfectly. So it was okay if Optimus Prime had like a couple of colors that were wrong. Like his head sculpt isn't super show accurate, but it still looks like Optimus Prime. It captures the spirit of the character perfectly, not the show. And like the Ironhide, he's got the wrong colors, but I don't care. It's like the Earthrise Cliffjumper. Yeah, the colors aren't as accurate as the Buzzworthy Bumblebee one, but they still look really good. They still feel like a really, really perfect representation of Cliffjumper. So I think it's fine. So if you know what, the purple here, you made the right choice. If they made it gray, I would have been really sour because it does look quite lame. I just wish they could have figured out a way to like shrink that little stupid thing over his head a little bit on that head. Otherwise, it looks so tiny. Is this accurate? Is it? It better not be. And here we have a faithful as fuck remake of a character. This might be the best one yet. R.I.D. Strongarm. She's not as bulky as I thought she'd be, but the only thing I know about Strongarm is from TJ Omega, and he likes his unconventional female characters maybe a little too much, so. But it looks great. It's apparently an Elita 1 retool. I didn't get it. It's a cute looking figure. I really, really, really don't like Elita 1. I was tempted to get it in a comic book shop as like, oh, this is the last chance. Here's Elita 1. You better get it, Mr. T. You better get it. And I said no. I might get this one though, because okay, well, I mean, I don't love. I think it's cool that she got a new figure, but I don't like love the character, and I certainly don't like her show. Why did R.I.D. get a new figure before Beast Machines? Okay, it's not that controversial. Oh yeah, because all three of these guys are massive Rhinox fans. Now everything makes sense. Same. There's the alt mode. I don't know if it's supposed to be accurate because I didn't like the R.I.D. designs. I'll say that. I don't like the R.I.D. designs, but this was like by far the best one. Grimlock's fine, but I thought his robot mode was dumb. All I'm asking, please, never, ever make R.I.D. Bumblebee and Sideswipe. Those are actually the worst redesigns in the entirety of Transformers, and yes, that counts Beast Machines. Beast Machines Rat Trap. The body itself looks cool. It's just the head and the lack of feet that look terrible. Cheetor looked like a weird ET alien, but it's still like had a cool color scheme. He had a cool anatomy for like a grown-up cheetah. Those two fucking suck. Bumblebee's car mode was bland as hell. Everything I hate about like capturing the things I don't like about Bumblebee perfectly captured in that terrible design, and then Sideswipe looked like a fucking ponce. He's a fucking little asshole. He had like a long chin, that stupid little hair. What is wrong with those people? I can't believe it. They made a character design in a kid show that didn't work for me, the greatest person of all time. What the fuck am I doing? This is supposed to be a recap, and I'm supposed to be talking about how I feel like the figures. And you're over talking. I'm rambling. That's what I do. I'm dumb as shit. It looks cool. It looks good, actually. Now that I think about it. Oh, and you can actually make the shoulders. You can fold it over. That's. I might get it. I might. Will I, Raggy? I don't know. It's got kind of a vacant expression if you stare a little close at it. She just kind of looks like that one shot of that woman from that one episode of Gordon Ramsay. You know the one I'm talking about? There's Demetrius. It's kind of funny because his name's Detritus, but it sounds like Demetrius, a tan lion. He looks like he's got a mane with his helmet, and they even gave him the facial hair. Alright, they said they accidentally skipped the core class this time. They only made one new one. They also reissued the sludge and the slag. And if you can do that on command, why the fuck have they not done that with the big slag? You know what? Fine. If I call him Slug, will you finally reissue it? I do not want to spend $110 fucking dollars minimum on a goddamn figure that was widely released. I was just not ready to buy at the moment. I mean, the time between me starting the hunt for it and now is greater than when Sludge has been available. I think it just feels that way. I still find him for decently cheap. I don't want him. I don't like Sludge. He's a stupid long-necked dinosaur. It has nothing to do with that core class. It's just unfortunate that at least your character also is the least good toy. Can you just release him again? I know I sound whiny, but what do you expect? Are you fucking McDonald's Bionicle stuff like a cunt? Anyways, here's my reaction.
Here it is. Final Dinobot. What do we do? Do not mess it up.
Over core class, not on purpose, but we have some fun stuff to show.
We're going with the flow. It's live. Whatever.
It's live. We've done 5 Dinobots. We have a 6th Dinobot, right?
We do.
Let's show off our final Dinobot by himself of the year. We have Snarl. This is going to be great. Again, I love all of these Dinobots, but
They did it.
Yeah, they actually managed to make this good. I'm surprised. They managed to make a good core class. I had zero faith in this figure, by the way. First off, this picture actually sucks. It looks better than this, believe it or not. But the leader class Snarl was already a figure that I felt was a little awkward. The fact that they had to shrink it and make it combine. Zero faith. Zero. Zilch. However, it looks great. I actually did watch the Prime vs. Prime review. And that actually doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look terrible. I know that he does have fists on the back of his legs, but I mean, come on. Swoop's got visible hands pretty much no matter where you look at it. And his head looks stupid. Alright, I think this is perfectly fine. I heard he also doesn't have any articulation, but like if you just unplug the back legs, it'll be fine. You don't have to plug them in. I don't know what they were thinking. It also comes with a sword. That's cool. It would have been really cool if you could also fit it. Like, you know how you have the Optimus Prime, the core class? He has a little tiny peg that's attached to a bigger peg, so it can plug in the hands of both the tiny Optimus and a bigger one for some reason. It would have been really cool if they did that for Volcanicus, so he has like a weapon. Oh well. This is by far, easily, the best core class Dinobot. And if they were all like this, except for Swoop and maybe Slag, I think this would have been awesome. I would have been okay with it combining because they managed. I don't hate the idea of a combining Volcanicus. If you can figure out a way to do it, then yeah, hell yeah, man. I thought that'd be amazing. Actually, round of applause. But you know what? If you can't figure out the work, just don't bother. They don't need to. Save the combining for the Pretenders, the Dino King, the Monstructor. That's fine. Don't pre-tool the Dinobots. The core class is basically redoing all the legacy characters and Transformers from scratch. They're still good. They're just also really tiny. They're a little less good than their big counterparts, but they're still good. Now the legacy of the Dinobots is they were hampered because they wanted to pre-tool it for other characters so that they could combine. Like, that's lame as shit. Either you go all out or you either go big or go home. They couldn't go big, and unfortunately, their ass is not home. Apparently, this one also parts forms the back for the combined mode. But, like, I don't fucking care. The combining is an afterthought. It should always be an afterthought. Honestly, if all of them parts formed for their combined forms, and they were great figures by themselves, I would say fuck yes. That is okay. I'd rather them all parts form and have people who, like, whenever they hear the word parts form, they have an aneurysm and they just fall on the floor writhing and salivating. I would have taken that if the figures themselves are better than what we got. So, fuck yeah, Snarl. Good job. You managed to make a good one. Okay, so this is actually kind of funny.
Because now we got the Optimus and Bumblebee, now we got all the dinos.
And then we'll get there. Clearly there was a bigger plan here altogether, right? So this is your chance. Now you get to see Volcanicus in his complete form. We've been teasing this along the way, so...
We have. So here he is all together. Please excuse the fact that the Grimlock that is attached to his foot is unpainted. Someone keeps stealing my painted Grimlocks.
You know what the sad thing is? You could barely tell that it was unpainted. Like, most of it is just gray, especially in foot mode. That is really sad. I mean, yeah, if you look closely you can tell, but otherwise it's like, actually I think it looks better unpainted, which is so unfortunate. So yeah, these core class dinos, man. I have a majority of them right now. I got Swoop and Scar. They're the only wave 4 I got right now. I also got pre-ordered the Armada Optimus and Megatron and the Dirge. That should be coming this July, so hopefully that'll be nice. I don't think I'm going to review it yet. I really need to focus down on the Legacy Evolution ranked. There's other videos I need to do as well, or like my 200 subscriber special, but those ones I think are my next big review. I have to do them. I know it's like, I don't know what to do for the footage, and that's why I have all the audio, like, I have the audio finished. I just don't know what to do for the fucking footage. And that's just part 1. Or I got like 7 parts, but I have to do it now. I'm at a point where I don't have anything else to review right now. I need to get that shit fucking done. So please get on my ass for that. Please make me act like Linkara. It'll be done when it's done. Because this isn't for you. It's for me. I need to stop being a lazy cunt and making shit on Metopia. Because I have a life. Actually, I don't. It's kind of sad, actually. Alright, next up we got Bludgeon. And I don't know how I feel about this. Because Tarn is a great figure. Bludgeon is one of my favorite Pretender characters. I think I might like Skullgrin a little bit more, but at least that was Skullgrin first and foremost. This just looks like Tarn, but with a slightly different head. I mean, I'm a little bit more down for it now, but it just feels like a kit bash. I don't know. I should be super excited for this, but I'm not. This is our chance to get a G1 Bludgeon, but they based him off of IDW. This is the inverse of how a lot of Transformers Prime fans feel. I wanted a new Transformers Prime sub, and what you did was betray us, Hasbro, because instead you made it look like G1, and I'm hurts my feelings. So just ignore me, I'm a fucking weirdo. There's this tank mode. Again, I've always associated Bludgeon as an actual tank, not a Cybertronian one. So I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I like Bludgeon, but I don't feel like this is the Bludgeon I've always wanted. It's a shame because I know it's going to be a good toy and I know I'm going to like it, but I feel like something's missing. Like, we've had a couple of others, like, already Strongarm. It's a retool of Elita 1, but that still feels like the character. She's got a stupid looking face. This one, it's just, I mean, from this angle, it looks a little better. So I'll definitely get it. Now that I think about it, I probably should have skipped out on Tarn. Because I would have been like, you know what? I'll just get Bludgeon. It's okay. Because I knew that this is what they were going to do. Obviously, you bellend. Just like how I knew that they were going to do Dreadwing out of Skyblast, so I didn't even bother with Skyblast, because why would I want a Skyblast when I could just get Dreadwing? Because he's cooler. The more I look at it, the more I'm slowly accepting it, but this should be my favorite announcement of the day, but it's not. I think I actually like Bombshell a little more. I'm not so sure. So here's the final Junkion that they made. It's a dump truck dude. He's Voyager. And they didn't bother to make him Animated Wreckgar. That's kind of unfortunate. He looks like this character in particular. I think his name's Heatwave. I feel like this is maybe a preach. I mean, you have to see it. You have to see it. That's what this looks like. It looks like that. That's what it looks like. You're nothing. I do like how I don't know if they show it off here, but this does actually combine, which is, I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. You have 4 Wreckers. Why do I keep calling them fucking Wreckers? It's Junkions. You have 4 Junkions that are deluxes in each wave, and you ended off with a Voyager Junkion. Of course it's going to combine. The sad thing is, it combines into a goddamn dinosaur. So there was no need for the dinosaur combination in core class. Now, was there? No, I don't want to fucking kill myself. I do like that the garbage truck mode. Although I will say, the Mad Max design does lose the personality of a dump truck. I always feel like a dump truck is a very silly alt mode. But this is overly serious. I feel like there's a way of doing it. Twisted Metal, I mean, car is an ice cream truck, but it still had that same vibe. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm just fucking stupid. And finally, here we go. We got Dreadwing. Or as I like calling him, Car Depthcharge. I don't know why I call him that. He just looks like Depthcharge, but I thought he turned into a car. I'll probably get him, actually, because he does look pretty cool. I'm just not used to spending $50 on Transformers anymore. So here's his alt mode. He has a very... No, you know what he reminds me of? Jetstorm. Ooh. Now that's pretty cool. Everyone says they want Jetstorm for the first Beast Machines. Just do Obsidian Striker. Even outside of Beast Machines, they were the greatest Cybertronian generals in history. That's worth something, right? They both had pretty cool toys back then, and it shouldn't be too hard. Although I will say it's kind of funny because Jetstorm didn't have a really good toy. I mean, they were good, but they weren't Jetstorm. The only Jetstorm toy that felt like Jetstorm was the McDonald's one. And it wasn't for the fact that his arms were not good for normal Transformer standards. If he had normal Transformers arms, would have been a great figure. So it can't be too hard, right? Yeah, I don't usually get the Transformers Prime stuff. I skipped out on the past 2 figures, but I'll get them this time. I'll definitely get them this time. Oh, opening cockpit. You know what? Fuck it. Seals the deal. I'm out. I'm going. And now we'll just end this on some of the Generation Selects or Buzzworthy Bumblebee or exclusives, whatever you want to call them, announcements. They have a Prowl and Ironhide 2-pack. The thing that gravitates towards me outside of the fact that they're dead is that they don't have clear plastic windows. So they could have made non-clear plastic windows for the original releases. I don't even like transforming my Ironhide anymore, my new one. I thought it was a good toy. I don't like transforming it anymore. Because the hooks, whenever I pull them out, they feel like they're pushing on the corner window parts. All of this figure's problems could have been avoided. If this was just a normal release, it would have been perfect. Same with Prowl, but I'm fine with having a dying Prowl. I don't like how he doesn't have the dying eyes. Maybe that was a little too graphic for them, but you know what? I'll probably get a golden Sharpie and just draw them on myself. It'll be fine. And the funny thing is, he has the yellow stripe. So you could have put it on the original. But you didn't. Again, look how consistent it is. Oh, why is this a battle damage variant? I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a fun set, but why? Why couldn't it just be a normal Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Ironhide, and Prowl? Come on, man. Give me a chance. I do like how it's Ironhide and Prowl again, the 2-pack from the Earthrise one. So that's pretty funny. So they have this army building set. One of them is actually an animated reference, which is really cool, but like otherwise, they got the Alicon. I didn't feel the need to get them back then. Why would I want them now? There was like this really cool new take on G1 Prime, but he turned into like a more modern truck. It was like a Christmas Prime. It looks like a cool toy, but I don't need it. I mean, I feel bad for passing up on it because it does look really, really good, but I don't feel like I need this, so yeah, again, kind of skipping. And finally, we have this really, really cool figure. I don't remember his name, but it's a Inferno repaint, and it's black. Now, the cool thing about this is that it just straight up has the Transmetal Scavenger head. So you could just make this Transmetal Scavenger. Yeah, that's it. That's one of my favorite announcements from the entire wave. That's awesome. You know what? They don't have an image of just all the figures interacting, so I can't do what I generally do. So instead, while these three gentlemen are enjoying themselves and looking very classy, now that the time's good, just kind of go along. Instead of just ordering from my most interested to my least interested, I'll just talk about the figures, recap them, and how I think about them, at least for Legacy Evolution Wave 4. So we have Core Class Snarl, and he does look quite excellent. He's probably my third favorite Dinobot behind Grimlock and Slag, and he definitely makes up for the fact that I don't like him as much as the other two with the fact that his quality is just outstanding, so he gets a blue. Remember, I don't like core class figures. I love them. And if they aren't up to par, then I whine and bitch like a baby about them. Anyways, Shadowstriker's like I'm going to be honest, like a yellow. Not very interested in her. And then you have Bombshell, who's... I'll be nice, I'll say a blue. I really like the character. And I'll probably enjoy it, but man, I just wish it was just a little better. Okay, next we got Strongarm, who I'll give a green. I probably won't go out of my way to buy it, but I wouldn't pass down the opportunity to buy her. I think she looks cool. And then finally, Detritus is like a solid yellow. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Bludgeon. Bludgeon still gets a blue from me because he looks really cool, and I still quite enjoy him as a character, even if I don't like him as much as I wish I could. And then the final Junkion, I didn't really like the one Junkion I got, but I might as well. Yeah. And next we have the Dreadwing, who's also a green, actually, now I think about it. Yep, there you go. So I'm going to also recap how I feel about the previous figures. So, Core Class, we'll do Wave 3, so Scar and Swoop. They were, like, greens both, because, actually, no, I'll do, well, yeah, you know, Swoop was good, but, like, I don't love him. And Scar was green as well. So, that leaves, with the deluxes being Beachcomber, who is a green, DevCon, I don't hate DevCon, but the fact that I meme on him so much means he has to get a red, so I probably will not get that one. And then next they had another Junkion, who I was like, oh, she's kind of cool, but she's just kind of a remold of the one I already have. She looks nicer, but like I'm probably not going to get it. Yellow right there. And then we got the Voyagers, which are actually pretty cool. We got the remake of the re-release of Dirge. That's a blue right there. And who else? Oh yeah, we got We got Claw Prime. That's a yellow. I like the meme, but like, do I need it? Do I need it? Let me answer that question. No. So next up we have the leader, who was Armada Megatron, who was a blue. And then finally we had the commander, who was Optimus, and he was a purple. I love Bendy Prime. He looks like Bendy Prime, but better, and the combined mode is finally cool. So I'm very excited to have him. I'm very, very excited. And then finally, the Nemesis. She looks cool, I guess, but I don't get Titans, and she looks not as good as some of the past ones. So she's like a yellow as well. Wave 3 was interesting. Again, it was kind of like Kingdom Wave 3, where most of the figures I was interested in was the bigger ones. Wave 2... What did Wave 2 have? Oh yeah, it started off with Grimlock. It was a green because I did get all the core class Dinobots. Went out of my way to get them. I like Grimlock, but he's not a good toy. I'll just say that up front. I think my opinion on him has soured quite a bit since I talked about him in my 200 subs video, which should be my top 10 favorite Transformers reviewers, but I haven't posted it yet. I'll do that next. Next, oh yeah, they had believe it or not, I still haven't gotten the Nemesis Prime and the the Thundercracker. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Thundercracker's blue. Nemesis is green. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just been busy with other shit. And next, we had, who did we get? Okay, first off, Animated Primal. We'll just do him, even though they revealed him last. Purple. Shrapnel. Same thing. He's blue as the other Insecticon. He's blue. Shrapnel is very, very, very cool, even if he's not my favorite. And then the other two were just, they had the repaint of Skids. I forget his name, but he was like a yellow, and then Crash Bar is a yellow. And then for the Voyagers, we had, actually they were pretty weak. Twin Quest, I think, is a green, but a very lime green. I think he's cool. Of course, Billy. Well, actually, he would just be called Blaster, because Billy was Blaster, wasn't he? But he has the other dude. But I'm just like, I don't need him. He looks cool, but I don't think I'm gonna get him. And next we have Metal Hawk, who everyone said was like really good, but I'm sorry, he's a yellow. And then Legacy Evolution Wave 1. So we had the core classes, which we started off with the 2 Dinobots. I'm just going to do Sledge as a red, because not only is he my least favorite, but he was fucking abysmal. He's the worst Transformer I've ever had. But he looked so shit that I felt like I needed to get him. The Slag, I'll be nice and give him a blue, because I do quite like Slag. It's a little harder to get, though, so it's kind of unfortunate. And then next, we had all of the deluxes, and I did get all of them. Hotshot was like a green. You know, no, that's too generous. I got him for like a meme, okay? Alright, it's just the meme. You know, I completely forgot that they made Breakdown, because I got him immediately. I was like, this thing sucks. I'm just gonna I'd give him an orange if I could, but I had to get him, so I guess he'll be a yellow. And the other Wreckgar I only got because I felt like I needed to give it a try. I said Wreckgar again. He's a Junkion, but he was a wreck of a figure. Just kidding. He was only okay, but I was not interested in him that much. And finally, we got Needlenose, who's also unfortunately a yellow. Because while he is a cool toy, I just don't feel like I needed him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I bought him, but like, I feel like if I didn't get the rest of the line, I wouldn't have gotten him. And then the Voyagers, they were pretty good. Tarn gets like a green over here. And then Leo Prime, he's a blue. I'll be fair. So that was Legacy Evolution. I didn't even mention the Evo Fusion, which is the most forced gimmick ever. At least with Legacy's gimmick, it was like, cool, clear weapons. That's cool. I don't mind that. But with this, it's just like weapon storage, and that was it. It's just so fucking forced. I gotta be honest, I didn't like this year. I'm not saying it's bad. Of course it's not bad, but I wasn't that inclined on getting anything. What was my highlight? Animated Prowl, for sure, the second wave. The big commander class for the third wave. And a couple of, you get Dirge. But the one I'm looking forward to the most for Legacy Evolution Wave 4 was two characters that I love from G1, but I don't feel like they were properly represented. And Wave 1 was a fucking joke. Kimba Prime is the one I wanted the most. I mean, again, because I think Kimba the White Lion's funny. And then there's Hotshot, who's a meme. The legacy of Legacy Evolution so far in my memory has been the combining Dinobots, and they're not that good. I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I'm not saying it's bad. It's definitely good. But I'm not interested at all. I've just been so burnt out on like what I'm interested in. Like when I look at, I'm missing so much in Legacy Evolution Wave 2. The only one I have is Animated Prowl and the Dinobots. And other than the other two core classes, I think I'm done. I do need to get Shrapnel, but like other than that, I don't want to get any Voyagers. I don't want to get half of the Deluxes. Wave 3 is like only the expensive ones that interest me. And then Wave 4, it's good, but like I'm not super into it. It's the best of the waves, fortunately, other than the fact that you had the really cool Commander class. Transformers has been so bare bones. Even like when Wave 1 came out, I delayed buying them because I was like, you know what? I want to get other shit. I want to get the Ghostbusters Minimates and relive my childhood. And then with Wave 2 and Wave 3, I wanted to get actual Bionicle, but instead of getting actual good ones, I decided, wouldn't it be funny if I made videos on the McDonald's ones? Because no one else did, other than Fast Food Toy Reviews reviewing 2008. Wouldn't that be a fun little project? And yeah, it was, but when it comes to Transformers, the stuff I've been interested in is actually more often Studio Series, Rise of the Beast. That's kind of unfortunate, but I kind of knew this because I knew that Transformers, ever since I got into Siege, was everything I wanted it to be for a long, long time. That first figure I got, man, Siege Optimus, is still one of my favorite Transformers of all time, and I knew we were in a golden age of Transformers. Then Earthrise came out, and it was just all the cool stuff, but instead of being Cybertronian, it was Earth-based. I was like, this is great. I don't know how they can end this fantastic trio. And then they did fucking Beast Wars mixed with the mini bots and other characters from G1. Like, are you shitting me? That's great. That's like everything I love about Transformers. If they just snuck in some animated, can't beat that. And then Legacy comes out. It's like, you know what? I had a good run. I've been incredibly invested. But then Legacy actually was really cool. Every wave, I've had one or two figures that I'm like, I need it. And I got it, and I was very satisfied. But with Legacy Evolution, it's not bad. It's just not as strong. So maybe I'm fading out of Transformers. And considering the fact that they're getting more expensive, maybe I might. And it's a shame. I just started this review channel. I fucking love Transformers. I think they are in the golden age, but it's been hard for me to be invested. But you know what? We are going to start strong. Next year, we're going to have a Silverbolt. We're going to have the Rock Lords. That's going to be badass. We're going to be getting non-show characters like Snarl. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to avoid leaks. I want to step in. I'm avoiding social media. Well, I do have Prime vs. Prime, who I do watch, so that will be kind of hard to do. But I'm going to avoid the leaks. And I'm just going to watch them. I'll try my best. I said the same thing with Scarlet and Violet. I'm not going to look at the leaks of the Pokemon. And I didn't. And then the last week I looked at everything and I fucked myself up. So, that's all I'm going to... That's it for me. I'll see you next time. Hopefully, I'll be a little bit more productive as well.
Like that's ever going to happen.